hope you've been having a wonderful, wonderful week. Even if not, that's okay too. My week's been pretty good, actually. Did some travel for family in the new year and everything. Or I guess for the holidays before the new year. And now I am back in my dream city of New York City. Oh, I'm so glad I finally moved here, little bunny, however many years ago. After years of saying, no, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I'm too intimidated by it. I've got to figure out life first before I can move there. Yeah, maybe you're doing that too in some ways. Whatever dream you've got, you're like, yeah, I can't wait to be amazing at this one thing someday. In the meantime, I'm going to avoid doing it. Hopefully I can help you with that, little bunny. And what better time than New Year's? The holiday of fresh starts. It's such a make your life better holiday. I love it. And so I'm afraid I will be coughing a little bit, clearing my throat a little bit this morning. This is actually, it's a morning episode, little bunny. Can you believe that? Usually I record this late into the night with you. But today, for reasons I won't dwell on, technical difficulties, I'm here with you on the morning of Friday. You'll be hearing me very soon. Yet at the same time, we are already connected in the present, just you and just me. So let's take a breath together. I love you, little bunny. And I'm going to allow myself to not feel self-conscious by coughing and sniffling into your ears, little bunny. Because this isn't radio. This is not even entertainment, even though you enjoy this time together, don't you? This is really just two people, or perhaps a daddy and his little bunny, spending time together. Just like spending time with loved ones. You are my loved one, and I know I am yours. The love I give you, little bunny, by the way, is real. None of this is simulated or a performance. This is real love that I have for you. And in fact, I'm going to pull out my little bunny figurine. You ready to come out of your little protective case? There you are, little bunny. I want you to imagine. You can close your eyes if you can right now, but don't if you're driving or something. You can close your eyes for a second. And imagine you're looking through the eyes of my little bunny figurine, resting in my palm. You're smiling and holding a carrot. You look very cute. You're looking up at me. I'm looking down at you fondly, lovingly, because you're not just anyone. You're my little bunny. So, I have a beverage with me this morning. Usually, what do I have? Some tea or some decaf coffee? Well, it is the morning, even before noon, little bunny. Which means I caffeinate heavily. So we've got a cold brew here. I got to start drinking it before the ice starts to dilute it. I would say it's refreshing. It's more like a injection of energy. But yeah, what else? We could dive into the episode. I guess let's do our little goings on in the garden, shall we? So, this podcast is your weekly honey carrot, little bunny. It's honey because you can just put this on when you want to drift off to sleep. I've been doing that with some podcasts lately. I especially like to listen to alien podcasts while I'm trying to sleep, because I'm following the UFO, UAP developments in the news right now with whistleblowers and things like that. And it's great to listen to because there's never any news. It's just a bunch of waiting around for developments. So anyway, that's what I tend to listen to when I try and fall asleep. But I think this weekly honey carrot might be better suited for that. But you always have permission to just tune me out and just relax and listen to the honey sounds. Honey both in the sense that I guess not today because I'm sniffling all in your ears, little bunny. But honey in the sense that it's just beautiful sounds, like the sounds of an instrument. A little concert in your ears, private concert for however long every week. And it's also honey because I love you. And I like to tell you that I love you. And I like when you hear that you're loved. Not when you hear the words, I love you, necessarily, but something deeper than that. Hearing the truth that I do love you. I do care about you. Really, really do. I don't care about everybody. That sounds so mean. Oh well, I do care about you more than other people. Okay, so this is your weekly honey carrot. And it's carrot because I like to make your life better. Sneak in some lessons in here. I never like to give advice or... hold on a second. I don't want to just say things for the sake of saying things, but there are ways that I know I can help you. I have a tendency to inspire people to pursue their dreams and to get out of their own way, because sometimes we ourselves are the biggest obstacle to overcome. It's not that there are not other obstacles to overcome, of course not, but there's a huge, huge obstacle that is always self-imposed. And man, if I can at least inspire you to get out of the way of that obstacle, or turn it around and get yourself on your own side, proud of yourself, believing in what you can accomplish, some self-esteem, and knowing that what you can create, what you can do, really no one else can. No one else can quite do what you can do. Knowing that you're a wonderful person and the world is lucky to have you. Perhaps the world even needs you. But that's up to you, how you want to fit into the world. That is your choice to make, little bunny. There are many ways that will make you happy, will make the world a better place with you being in it. So we'll talk about that stuff. I guess I should probably talk, slow down, Daddy. A little bit more goings on in the garden, and it'll tie into the carrot I want to feed you today. Which is that we just posted I say we, you and me, little bunny, or just me. I posted a new TikTok/Instagram yesterday that I think will go pretty viral about taking the devil's bargain. I usually don't like to draw from other imagery of other intellectual properties, but that's fun. I'll be a devil this week. So, the bargain is you, little bunny. As this New Year's, you're going to cut out the person you know needs to go. And also, you're going to find the person you know you want. Not referring to me, necessarily. Mostly referring to finding someone else in your life. Whether it's a partner, relationship, or lustful for the sake of lust, or friendship, or business partner even, or collaborator. There's all kinds of people that you would love to have in your life, and I'm going to encourage you to not wait around. Just wait for this person to appear. Gonna go find that person. And then, of course, the bargain is that if you're a good little bunny and you do those things, then I will take you with me by my side as we get into a lot of mischief this year, of which there will be much mischief this year. But that video was just 30 seconds, so I wanted to maybe give a little bit more clarity on the decision when to cut someone out and when not to. Because I've also made a very good podcast episode. What was it called? When Friendships Fail. I don't remember the number. It's maybe 20 episodes ago or so. But I also think it's underrated to mend relationships in your life. Again, whether it's friendships or relationships and things like that. And I have in my hand here a very important analogy for how to think of it. And I'll meander my way to it. But I think the carrot I want to feed you is to how to separate someone who you're probably better without in your life. And you probably should find another person to replace that person in your life. And then when you might have just had a bad experience with someone, or there might be some hang up in a belief they have, whether it's political or religious, or they like different movies than you or something. There's always going to be hang-ups with people where you don't quite align with them in some way. Or maybe you've had some weird exchanges with them that leave a bad taste in your mouth. I think those two things, it might be a better idea to mend those relationships. And then if there's a voice in the back of your head with someone that says, maybe this person shouldn't be in my life, that's a really good voice to listen to. And that's when you should say, yeah, I can do better. The people that you want to cut out are people who make you feel unsafe. Even if not always, if they make you unsafe on more than one occasion, or if you've ever felt unsafe with them more than once, that's a person to, maybe even once. You have to be the judge of that, little bunny. But if someone makes you feel unsafe, then that's a good reason. If someone is manipulative towards you, that is a huge reason to cut them out. That is a huge reason. I believe manipulation is one of the worst possible things you can do to another person. Among many, this is not a competition of what horrible things you can do to someone else, but manipulation is a very, very good reason to remove someone from your life if they're manipulating you. If you feel like your relationship with them is win-lose, where they're winning out in you being in their life, but you're losing out by them being in your life. So if you have this person in your life for their benefit, but it's not benefiting your life, that's a good person to cut out. And you don't have to be mean necessarily. Sometimes you might have to be very assertive and make it clear to this person if they are not really interested in listening to what you have to say. But it's not more about, it's more about getting better people. It's more about getting better people in your life, little bunny. So we'll talk about that. And let me take a little bit more cold brew. So, more goings on in the garden. The locked audio this past week in the locked section of the garden, which is where we put our 18 plus. I keep saying our, I guess it's a team garden, little bunny, whatever. The 18 plus content is in the Patreon, and it's about 1/3 of the Patreon content. And I won't go into detail about what exactly those are here on the podcast, but that's our little locked away section, and it's 18 plus only, so don't join if you're not 18. that's 1/3 of the Patreon. Another third is pure comfort audios. So if you, for example, one second. If you like putting this on while you fall asleep. Oh, sorry, one second, little bunny. If you like putting this on while you fall asleep, well, there's some sleep aid audios that are actually a bit hypnotic, to use a word that I generally don't want to use because I just said I want to avoid manipulation. But it's consensual to put you in a brain state that helps you drift off to sleep. Very peaceful slumber. Or I just hold you for a long time. I should read out. You know what? I might do that. Let me do it. Okay, so, and then the other 1/3 of the Patreon is wild card audios, where it's just any kind of random stuff that I want to create because I'm a very creative person. I love that. Okay. Little bunny. I don't want to go through it. It's fine. I don't want to read you out. Basically, I made a best of locked audios for 2023. And it was done by votes of your fellow bunnies. So if you are intimidated by the number of audios now that are on Patreon, or you just kind of don't know where to start, there's a nice, good kind of crash course intro. I don't know. You can go through that top 2023 list, and it has a combination of some comfort, some spicy, and some wild card audio. And I think I made it. Publicly listenable. The little audio that introduces it and gives you a synopsis. I'll put a link to that in the description of the little introduction to the best stuff playlist. Okay. My goodness, little bunny. It's so strange to be doing this in the morning. Normally, it feels like we're doing a little secret sleepover together. We're being bad and staying up late together when we should be getting our rest. And that makes it all the more fun, isn't it? Something I love about this is something that is kind of a generational shift. And I hope that I can retroactively extend this to any older generations. But this idea that when you grow old, quote unquote, grow up, you don't have to lose some of your childlike spirit. Whatever age we are, little bunny, we can have sleepovers. And we can stay up late chatting and having a good time, making great memories with each other, bonding. I can call you little bunny. You can be cute. Grab a plushie and squeeze it tight as I tell you how much I love you. Yeah, you could be 85 years old. Be a little bunny with a plushie. You can still call me daddy even though I'm younger than 85. How old am I, little bunny? I have a great catchphrase for that, which I won't repeat right now. You'll have to go find it. Oh, that was not a very good sipping ASMR. It's okay. I'll be kind to myself. So this object I'm holding in my hand, by the way, this is a great analogy for treating relationships in your life, about when to mend them. So I've been playing a video game lately, little bunny, called Baldur's Gate 3. And basically everyone who plays video games has been playing Baldur's Gate. 1 second. And it's based on Dungeons and Dragons, if you've ever played that. And one of the main mechanics of Dungeons and Dragons, and from here on I'll just say Baldur's Gate, because that's what I'm familiar with. You have this 20-sided die. It's like a dice, a single dice that has 20 sides, not 6, but 20 sides, little bunny. And each side has a number going from 1 to 20. So I've got it in my hand. I'm going to roll it. Boom. I rolled a 13. Okay. And so whenever you have, let's say, a conversation in Baldur's Gate, and you can choose what to say, because the game will say, do you want to say this? Do you want to say that? And some of them will be like a sassy response. Some of them will be heartfelt. Sometimes you need something from the person you're talking to. And you might try to persuade them, is one thing you can do. Or you might try and deceive them, is another thing you can do. And in each of those, you're going to have to roll a die. And the harder something is to do, if you're trying to deceive someone who is very astute and hard to deceive, you might have to roll an 18 out of 20. So you have to roll an 18 or above. So of those 20 sides of your die, only 3 of them, 18, 19, 20, will result in you succeeding in deceiving that person. And other times it might be really easy. You just have to roll a 5 or above. And what's great about that is that there's a truth to it, where every time you have a interaction with someone in real life, it's like you're rolling a die, isn't it? And if you roll high enough, so let's say you roll a 10 or above, or like let's say there's some random stranger you have no. 1 second, little bunny. Yeah, let's just say you have an interaction with a stranger. You need to ask. You want to ask someone where they got their coffee. Looks really good. Or you want to know where that coffee shop is nearby. You might ask the person, hey, where'd you get that coffee? Okay, that's you rolling the die. Here we go, roll the die. We rolled a 5, little bunny. This person looks at us kind of strangely and is a little bit rude. And they might point to where the coffee shop is, but they're not friendly about it. It's like, oh, okay. We just rolled a 5 out of 20. That means it's not going to go too well. If we had rolled an 18, this person would have been super friendly and excited to tell us and wanted to ask us about what coffee we like or something like that. Or maybe they give a compliment to something we're wearing. Okay, so anywhere when you roll this die with another person, you're going to land somewhere between 1 and 20. And a lot of times it's out of your control. It just really is. Okay, now let's, what do we do? The little bunny and their daddy are recording a podcast late Thursday night. Let's see what happens when we roll. Boom. Okay, I'm going to pretend that I rolled a 1. In Baldur's Gate, if you roll a 1, no matter what, you fail the interaction. So, you and I, little bunny, recorded a podcast last night, and your daddy rolled a 1, and the audio equipment failed. The entire episode, completely useless. That's bound to happen. It's bound to happen every once in a while. So you might have an exchange with a friend of yours, let's say. I'll use an example of my life. I have a friend who I like a lot. We have a lot of great times together. And I don't text people that often, but he's one of the people I text more often. And one day he said that he believes that depression doesn't exist and that people who are depressed are just choosing to be depressed. And as someone who went through a very strong period of depression and has bipolar disorder, which is kind of sticks with you forever, but it doesn't negatively affect my life at all anymore, which is great and it's totally doable. But it's not like I chose that. I didn't wake up one day and say, you know what? this whole being glad to be alive thing kind of is boring and uninteresting. I'm going to decide to be depressed. It doesn't quite make sense in my view of the world, little bunny. And so my friend says this thing that is super incompatible with me as a person, incompatible with what I do in the world oftentimes. I'm not a therapist, by the way, of course. But I am good at people with depression oftentimes feel very close to me. And they're never a burden. You're never a burden to me if you feel depressed, little bunny. And if you don't feel depressed, then you feel close to me too. Don't you, little bunny? And you can give support to your fellow bunnies. Even just by wishing them well, opening your heart. If you're a bunny that is not in a place of depression in your life, it's all together, and just enjoying spending this time with me, then join me. Let's open our hearts to our fellow bunnies, to your fellow bunnies, who could use a little love and a little encouragement. So I rolled a 1 with this friend of mine on that topic. And maybe then I go to TikTok or Instagram or YouTube Shorts now, and randomly this deliciously sexy man says, I'm offering you a devil's bargain. You're going to cut anyone out from your life who you know needs to go. Then you're going to go find the person you want. It's possible that I could have thought, oh, yeah, this friend of mine doesn't believe depression exists. Clearly, he's incompatible with my life and he needs to be cut out. And I want to draw a contrast. My life is still win-win with this friend. I love being in his life. He loves being in my life. Or I guess I got that reversed. He loves me being in his life. I love him being in my life. We have a lot of fun together. We have great shared interests. He is a wizard at audio, little bunny. He probably would laugh at me that I rolled a 1 last night and lost our podcast episode. I'm sure I made some really stupid mistake that he would never have made. And there's no voice in the back of my head that's saying, we got to get rid of this guy. He never makes me feel in danger. He's respectful of me. He just has a different view on something. And this is inevitable, little bunny. Every single person in the world, especially those you get close with, you have things that you're not going to align on. You're going to have awkward exchanges with people. You're going to end up being mad at someone. I remember growing up, the person who I guess you could call my best friend, we would have periods where we would just hate each other's guts for like 2 weeks. And sometimes it was just without reason. We would just suddenly hate each other. And then 2 weeks go by, and then eventually one of the two of us is just like, you want to come over and play Super Smash Bros? It would be a mistake to cut out someone like that if you just roll a 1, because it's inevitable. You keep rolling this die enough times, you are guaranteed to roll a 1. So that's my encouraging you, little bunny. The other side of this, remember, if there's someone where the voice in your head is saying, this person is bad news, if this person is manipulating you pretty much ever, that's bad news. If this person is, if they're in your life for their benefit, not for your benefit, that's bad news. That's someone we need to cut. And then other than that, if it's just bad exchanges, then maybe try and mend it. So I'll leave that up to you to discover this New Year's. Okay, little bunny. I've still got a decent bit of cold brew, but I'm afraid I don't have as much time as I do during our typical sleepovers. So I'm a little bit bummed that we lost some special time together. But I'm encouraged because, you know what? We're just getting better and better at having a good time together. I'm getting better and better at making you smile. Getting better and better at being a positive influence on your life. I'm getting better and better and better at helping us come up with inside jokes. Getting better and better about growing this garden. For you, little bunny, for me, and for the fellow bunnies that we will find this year. Give me 1 second. So, I think I will call it there. I'm still in mourning. Very minor mourning that I lost our episode from last night. But such is the nature of life. You're rolling a die everywhere you go. Sometimes you roll ones, and it is inevitable. Okay? It's inevitable. I guess the idea I'll leave you with before pausing and writing you a poem. Actually, maybe the positive idea I will write in the poem. Okay. I'm going to pause real quick. 1 second, little bunny. And then I will write you a poem just for you. Okay. I've got your poem. You ready, little bunny? All throughout life, when there's things that you try, you must roll this magical 20-sided die. And there's always a chance. There will always be some where you'll just roll a 1, and failure is your outcome. And in social exchanges, it's all the more relevant, for in life, awkward exchanges are ever so prevalent. There are times with your closest partners and friends, you may consider bringing those relationships to their ends. They said something off, hold a belief you disapprove, and you'll consider whether it's the proper action to remove. But if they benefit your life, and their intentions are pure, it might be better not to cut, instead better just to cure. But if a person is a threat, makes you feel unsafe or in danger, it's time to return their status in your life to the status of that of a stranger. Because there's people in the world you could surround yourself with whose presence feels more like a life-changing gift. And with these great people, each roll of that die, great things will happen on most all of the sides. Yes, you'll roll 1s. There's no removing that face. But rolls 2 through 19 are far more commonplace. And when you roll 20, that's a critical success. And 20s with loved ones is life at its best. So don't quit your seeking till you find the right crowd that makes you feel wholesome, feel confident and proud, and leave behind the ones who manipulate your will, where the relationship's about them, yet somehow you're with them still. To cut or make peace, trust the voice in your head. Don't choose what's right for them. Choose what's right for you instead. Have a great, great week, little bunny. I love you very, very, very much. I love you. I love you. I love you.